Hi everyone, I'm Sarah and this is Sarah Gray Crochet. It's been a while since I've posted on this channel, and in the spirit of getting back into my hobbies and passions in life, we're going to jump back into YouTube, hopefully. That being said, I thought a good way to jump back into things is to kind of do a recap of all of the things I've made this year thus far, including knit and crochet pieces. I finally taught myself how to knit this year and I'm very into it at the moment. So there's one knit piece in here and the rest is crochet, but even though I haven't been posting as much, I have definitely been working on things. And I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but we're heading into the latter half of the year. We're just wrapping up July, and I always feel a lot more alive and in tune with the latter half of the year. I find it to be much more attuned to my vibes. If you couldn't tell, I love fall. It's my favorite time of year. Even if I live in a warmer climate, I still love it. But yeah, I love the latter half of the year. I always feel a lot more of a reset at this time, end of summer, beginning of fall, than I ever do, during the new year. I know the new year is usually when people are like setting goals and intentions and diving into things, but for some reason, I've always been more attuned to doing that this time of year. I feel like it's a really great opportunity to just like reset, jump into the things that you have wanted to get to this year but you haven't gotten to yet. All of that. So with that in mind, we are going to do a little recap of everything I've made thus far and maybe jump into goals I have before this year ends. Okay, first project, we're kicking it all the way back to, I guess technically I made this on December 31st for a New Year's party, but I thrifted this jean skirt and I split it at the seams on the sides, and then I crocheted these fun like flower granny squares, and I sewed them in on each side, so now it's like a really fun jean skirt crochet combo. I was really happy with how this turned out. I'll plan to try and put some, other videos I've made on TikTok and Instagram. Feel free to follow me on there if you aren't already, but I'll add some of the more short form content I've made with some of these items right here. Yeah, I definitely want to do a project like this again. I actually have a pair of jean shorts that I've been waiting to repurpose, so I think I'll probably do something very similar to this. Next item, I went through a big keychain making phase at the beginning of the year. So we have this really cute and puffy evil eye crochet piece that I made. I'm always feeling pretty inspired by like witchy, lightly occult things, heavily inspired by the moon. So I went through a big phase of making these really cute moon keychain bag charms. Again, they're nice and squishy. I really love this velvet yarn that I used for these, and they're just like a perfect little accessory to add to any outfit or any bag. Forgot I also made a cute purple one too. And in addition to that, I made this really cute purple kind of toadstool inspired mushroom. Again, great, squishy, perfect for any bag accessory. I was feeling inspired because I did a yoga teacher training last year and I was still feeling kind of motivated by like different chakras and really leaning into that. So I decided to make this cute chakra keychain. It has like the gold clip detailing and then the little gold beads all the way down. I really, really loved how this one came out, and you can clip it on both sides or one side or the other, so it's pretty versatile. Next are items that I've been talking about and I will continue to talk about. I made these really cute little mini jerseys inspired by, of course, Heated Rivalry. That has been one of my obsessions from when it came out back at the end of last year through now. I still go back and watch it every once in a while. I think it's amazing. So I was feeling really inspired by that at the beginning of this year, and I made these really cute mini jerseys, and they have quotes on them from the different characters. So this is an Ilya quote, "You are so boring, Hollander." I love this one. Next, we have 24 for Shane. And then on the back, we have "Will you come to my cottage this summer?" And the cottage is in rainbow. And I think this one is just so, oh, I love this one. One of my all-time favorites is another 24. So it has the 24 on both sides. And then it also has Wow Genetic as like a little attached piece to the keychain itself. And I just think it's so cute. And last but not least, we couldn't forget Scott Hunter, of course. So we have the 21 here, and then on the back it says "You deserve sunshine." And I like this because it kind of reminds me of like with a Spirit jersey when it goes across the arms in the back, and I just think it's so cute. And as of filming this video, all of those keychains are still currently available on my Etsy shop, so definitely check that out if you're interested. Next, continuing with the heated rivalry obsession, I made a full-on crochet jersey. So I was deep in it earlier this year, but I did some really nice ribbing at the sleeves and at the bottom, and then I really like how the stripes at the bottom and on the sleeves turned out, and then I also did this really nice lace detail up at the top. I didn't put anything on the back as much as I love the Rosenhoff Hollander. Season 2 is coming soon, and all I'll say is that things might change team-wise, so I just don't want to attach myself to one specific team or color scheme. And I thought this, although inspired by the Boston jersey, was enough removed from it so it could still be worn in more of like a subtle nod to the show as opposed to like a direct reference. And this piece is also available on my Etsy shop for anyone that is interested. I don't have a pattern for it yet. I've considered writing one. That would just take a lot of time for me to like sit down and focus and write one out. So we'll see if that happens or not. No guarantees, but it is something on my mind. Continuing with wearables, I found this really incredible granny square pattern on Pinterest, and I decided to use that to make this really pretty hooded shawl. So you can see the hood back here. It's like 2 granny squares sewed together, and then this is the front, and it comes together at this really nice point right here, and then it drapes in the back as well. Again, I'll try to put a video here of what it looks like as like a full body piece. I'm really proud of this one. I had it on display at the San Diego County Fair. I love the color combination I chose for this. Anything that's like deep greens and blues that reminds me of like the forest and the ocean is always going to be a winner in my book, but I really loved how this came out. And I believe this was all Big Twist acrylic yarn. Okay, second to last piece for now is a piece that I've actually been working on for 2 years. I started this piece back in spring of 2024, and you'll see why in a minute, but there were so many pieces to it to the point where I took all the pieces, put them under my bed, and didn't think about them for over a year because I was so done with it, the amount of multiple squares I had to crochet. As you can see here, I just was so done. So I finally decided to put it away for a little bit, and then when I finally was ready to sew everything together, I revisited and I made this gorgeous, gorgeous cardigan. Biggest downside to it is it's very heavy. It is made out of the Woolies, I believe it's Lion brand yarn. That's like a wool acrylic mix, if I'm not mistaken. It is very thick. It's very pretty bulky and long. I love the details of it though. I think the original inspiration came back from when everyone was making those like patchwork cardigans. I think it was like Harry Styles wore one, and then everyone was kind of crocheting one. This was back in, gosh, probably 2020, 2021. But I had the idea in my head since then, and finally I found a really beautiful color combination that I wanted to do. And I thought the thick yarn was the move for this one. But like I said, it's just so thick that anyone who lives in a cold climate that needs a really nice, thick, almost like jacket as opposed to cardigan, please let me know. This is also on my Etsy shop. Again, I love the colors. I think it's beautiful. I just don't realistically see myself wearing it in Southern California. And here's a closer look at the button details. I really loved the buttons I picked for this as well. And then it does have like the cuffing around the edge as well as at the sleeves. And it's really beautiful. Again, here's a better look of what it looks like full body. But yeah, it's looking for a really lovely home for someone who hopefully lives in a little bit of a colder climate. So last but not least for this video is my very first knit piece. There's a fuzzy on it, of course. So I actually followed a tutorial on YouTube for this one, which I'll put right here. She's great. I love a lot of her patterns that I've been taking a look at some of her other ones, but this was kind of my first start to finish knit piece. I used, again, I think some big twist acrylic yarn that I had laying around, and it actually turned out a lot softer than I was expecting it to. I did the first part in like a heather gray color and then the rest in this darker gray, and I kind of did my best to like blend them together because I ran out of the heather gray, but I really love this. I'm honestly just waiting for it to cool down a little bit so I can wear it. It's a cropped sweater. It goes off the shoulder a little bit. I ended up doing some crochet around the collar just so it wouldn't completely fall off my shoulders, just because I like to have a little more structure. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. Again, here's a better shot of what it looks like full body. Yeah, and I don't know, this, again, first knit piece ever, and I'm really, really proud of it. I can't wait to make more knitting pieces. I feel like it's kind of reinvigorated my love for, you know, fiber arts and doing things with my hands, because I was really hitting a rut there for a while. Even though I've made a lot this year, looking back, it just sometimes you hit such a creative rut and you're just like, oh my gosh, what am I even doing? So I'm really grateful that I've kind of finally learned how to knit and I can dive into that more. There's so many other patterns I want to make. So definitely stay tuned for more knitting content from me. Hopefully, again, more crochet content. Most of these pieces are listed in my Etsy shop if you're interested. And if you're interested in hearing more about my journey as a fiber artist when it comes to knit, crochet, all things fiber arts, please feel free to subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching.